not play in the loss of Phoenix earlier this year. Multitude of problems these last couple of weeks.
Yeah, Sean, you know, one thing that Cindy Brondello had said to us before the game started tonight, that the adversity that her team has had thus far this season, and they certainly have had their share, this lineup that she has is probably a little bit faster than what we have normally been accustomed to seeing with this Phoenix squad.
And right off the bat, Skylar Diggins-Smith, who had 25 points in a win on Sunday, makes it 2-0 Mercury. Kayla McBride comes up short, and the long rebound controlled by Kia Vaughn. Diggins-Smith, who had 13 points in the fourth quarter, dishes back to Vaughn, and she sticks the long two. How impressive has she been since Brittany Griner left the Wubble?
She has been so impressive, getting to her spots early in the offensive set. You saw how quickly she ran into the corner. No one picked her up, and she had that wide open, easy shot on the baseline.
Sophie Cunningham starting in place of Shatori Walker-Kimbrough, following the 4-point win over Minnesota, where Phoenix got off to a hot start, led by 15 after the first quarter, and held on for dear life late to win their third consecutive game and improved to 9-7.
It was Sophie Cunningham, Sean, who, in that last meeting between these two teams, she lit it up with 11 points. So, you know, that roster moves, you look at who you're playing up against, and Sandy Brondello going with Sophie Cunningham tonight.
Lindsay Allen, who did not play in that first meeting, drives inside but misses the layup. Taurasi from deep three-point range, and the GOAT knocks it in for her first triple tonight. Already a 7-0 start. Great feed inside, but McBride blocked from behind. Back to Wilson. Can't get Vegas on the board. Now Angel McCoughtry hangs and hits for a much-needed basket 2 minutes in. Taurasi can't hit another one, and the rebound to Wilson. Las Vegas has been one of the most consistent teams this entire season. Allen misses inside, got it back, and an extra chance. Wilson going against Brianna Turner, goes right by and gets the and one.
Nice hard drive to the hoop by Asia Wilson, and this is what it's all about, that driving sharp step that she has now to complete the three-point play.
And what a matchup that is going to be to watch tonight. Asia Wilson on Brianna Turner. Breezy's been phenomenal. 15 rebounds and 17 rebounds in 2 of the past 3 games, as she has really picked up the slack on the boards and helped lead the Mercury to a couple of clutch wins. But you know, Vegas's identity is getting to the free throw line and getting their opponent in all kinds of foul trouble. Now a 2-point game. Taurasi's second basket kicks it back up to 4. Wilson calls for it again. Falling away off the mark. Deep pass into Cunningham. And muscles it up for 2.
She was waiting for somebody on the defense to bite so she could have an opportunity for a three-point play. Nice and patient there, Sophie Cunningham.
Another strong start from Phoenix. Looking to win its 4th straight game and 10th this year. Wilson powers up and gets the soft touch. Taurasi whips it inside. Turner ready to secure another 2.
Turner's numbers the last 4 games have certainly helped take a little bit of the load off. You want that compliment that Skylar Diggins and Diana Taurasi have provided.
McBride finishes the oop. Got caught napping on the backdoor cut. These two had a track meet when they met on July 31st, the 102-95 Phoenix win. And to start, both attacks clicking early as Diggins Smith hits another jumper. And in that first meeting, Mercury's big four of Hartley, Griner, Taurasi, and Diggins Smith combined for 77 of the 102 points. Wilson draws the double. Can't hit the tough fadeaway. Swords taps it out, and Jackie Young collects the offensive board.
Right, you made a good point there. Griner and Hartley were really key offensive sparks in that first meeting between those, between those two teams. So Phoenix has to figure out a way to make up those points tonight, and certainly the way that each team has come out running tonight, that's not going to be a problem.
After the Wilson lay-in, Vaughn misses it short. Back to McBride. That three is good. After a slow start, McBride hits back-to-back baskets. But Las Vegas's identity is on the defensive end.
Yes.
As Taurasi is free for another shot. He misses the long one. But Phoenix is getting a lot of good looks early.
Yeah, they are getting some really good looks, and certainly, the perimeter defense is going to be tested tonight, and there's number 2 in three-point field goal defense. So this brings that fun challenge between these two teams tonight.
McCautry gives the Aces the lead with 4 minutes to play in the first quarter. But Taurasi takes it right back. 8 points now for the WNBA's all-time leading scorer. It's put the team on her back these last couple of games. Young can't answer. Diggins Smith on the break. Cunningham with a nice ball fake. Trying to dish to Turner. Couldn't control it. McCautry going on the floor. Draws the foul. We take a timeout on the floor. Both teams trying to catch their breath as the offenses are clicking early in Bradenton. Diana Taurasi's 8 early points has Phoenix ahead of Las Vegas, 18-16. Sean Salisbury and Leah Secondo with you tonight. And Leah, right after her 5th 20-point game against Minnesota this season, she's picking up right where she left off and looking really comfortable.
Cindy Brondello said as a coach, I enjoy just watching her play. And what is there not to enjoy? Because you never know what trick is going to come out of Diana Taurasi's hand. You're supposed to pull her off the three-point line. Well, this is about as far as you can pull somebody away from the three-point line. A real quick trigger on the release, and then you pull her away, and she has enough gapping room to drive to the hoop. Diana Taurasi is just so smart. Their teammates continuously say that they can't get enough time around her just to kind of soak in everything she brings to the basketball court. And she's having fun, Sean. And that right there is the biggest part of it. If you're having fun, you play relaxed, and it just kind of trickles down to the rest of your teammates on the court.
Taurasi now takes a seat on the bench. Jerica Hamby comes in for the first time for Las Vegas. McBride slips through and travels before she released the shot. Shatori Walker, Kimbrough, Shea Petty, and Alana Smith also come in. We've seen just about every player that'll play for Phoenix tonight. Limited depth, but some gutsy performances this past weekend. Diggins Smith. Off the backboard, Hamby stores for the rebound. And now wants to push with Vegas down 2. Had it poked away by Walker Kimbrough.
Phoenix missing so many different key pieces tonight for their team. And Taurasi, and I think even Skylar Diggins, you mentioned Kia Vaughn off the top of the show. Certainly 3 key pieces that I think need to consistently contribute to this team. And it's not just about scoring. You come in, you get a board, you get a steal, you get an offensive board. Those are the different pieces that will help your team.
And that's what Sandy Brondella said too, is we like Shea Petty and what she brings as the 31-year-old veteran.
That's right.
Even though she's just in her 2nd year playing in the WNBA. Driving inside, Sugar Rogers ties it up. She's coming off her own 12-point performance in Las Vegas's last win against New York on Saturday.
Sugar Rogers' play has consistently increased in different ways, and she has embraced it. You know, some nights she doesn't get any PT. Some nights she's able to step up and come out with that defensive intensity, and then anything she's bringing on the offensive side is certainly a plus for this Vegas squad.
Going inside, Walker Kimbrough draws the foul. That previous foul, the first on Rogers. And now the first team foul in the last 2 minutes, and it'll be A'ja Wilson's first personal. And that's going to be interesting too, Leah, because Danielle Robinson, as Coach Lambier said right before the game, that she's been having some bad headaches and not expected to play tonight. But those 3 off the bench, Hamby, Young, and Rogers, well, they are so good at bringing that energy and defense, as you mentioned, and the main reason why Las Vegas is 12-3 this year.
Right, and it is really unfortunate with Danielle Robinson. They have loved every aspect that she has brought to their team in a short period of time. She's been involved with the aspect of what Bill Lambier wants to do with this squad, and hopefully she'll be able to get over those headaches quickly and be back on the floor to contribute.
Hamby doesn't give up after being blocked by Alana Smith. Tied at 20 going into the final minute and a half of the first quarter. Smith buries it. Second-year center out of Stanford. The big 3 for Phoenix as Rogers knocks another one down. The offense is feeling good early despite the late start. Diggins Smith hesitates, couldn't make it in. Las Vegas looking to beat one of 2 teams that has defeated them this year. Wilson travels inside. But it seems like an eternity has passed since that July 31st meeting.
It certainly has. You think about the number of games played in between. The scout has changed drastically. The talent on the floor has changed. Bill Lambier's hair has changed.
The way these 2 teams have been playing, going up and down the floor, he might need the headband again.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm sweating just watching these 2 teams run. Great pass inside. Walker Kimbrough all alone finishes the feed from Taurasi. Rogers resets, penetrates inside. Finds Jackie Young, bump, and finishes. An and 1 for Jackie Young.
Jackie Young is so versatile for this Aces team. Look at driving right, straight down the lane. A versatile piece. She can play the 1, the 2, and the 3 for Bill Lambier. And that's what you need right now, especially with the depletion of different lineups. Versatility on the floor to give somebody a break. Great job.
Shot clock turned off. We've already seen 3 different lead changes in the first quarter. Taurasi connects. What a great offensive display in the first quarter. Rogers heaves it up and can't hit. And after the first quarter of play, Phoenix with another hot offensive start. They'll take a 27-26 lead into the second quarter when we return.
Well, our stars to watch at the top of the broadcast are certainly living up to the billing. Diana Taurasi couldn't step any further out from 3. She's already got into double figures. And, of course, A'ja Wilson on the flip side doing what she does best, driving hard to the basket. Already 7 points on the night, trying to make things happen inside the paint, Sean, for this Vegas team. They already have 18 points in the paint in just the first quarter of play.
2 of the top 4 scorers in the WNBA, like you said, living up to the billing in this offensive showdown. Wilson gives it up, and Young hits another shot. And we already have the 5th lead change of the game here in the opening minute of the second quarter. Phoenix on a 3-game win streak. Brianna Turner back into the game. Can't hit. Hamby fights for the rebound and draws the personal on Alana Smith.
A little bit smaller, faster lineup for Bill Laimbeer right now out on the floor. We'll see how they push this ball up the floor a little bit quicker. He expected to play Sugar Rogers and Jackie Young a little bit more tonight. And the combination, Jackie maybe a little bit more at the 1 this evening. We'll see how that plays out for Vegas.
And here is Danielle Robinson. Coming into the game. Here is Rogers. Can hit the pull-up. Walker Kimbrough, who's caught fire a couple of times this year. Petty working inside. Gives it back to Taurasi. And she hits another one. Give her 13 just over a minute into the second quarter. Wilson wants it on the ISO. Too strong, trying to attack Turner, who already has 2 personal fouls. Taurasi, foul going up. And a smart move by the veteran to draw the foul on the second-year guard.
You've got to figure out a way to make Diana Taurasi at least try to make her feel uncomfortable up at the top, and everyone is late collapsing and recognizing where 3 is. You've got to understand where 3 is. It's like the highlight of the scout, and getting out on her late or just trying to jab at her is not going to work, because Diana Taurasi, if she doesn't nail the shot, she's going to drive to the hoop, figure out a way to get to the free throw line, where she has been spectacular as well this season.
Bill Laimbeer maybe saying a prayer, because if nothing else, it forces the miss on the 3rd free throw, but Taurasi already has 15 points. Young frees herself up. Resets with McBride. And she was blocked by Walker Kimbrough. The offense has been efficient, but Phoenix has come up with some big stops as Taurasi has that one go in and out. Got to pick her up at half court, Leah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's never too far.
Young with space, drains another J. Petty slashes inside, back to Walker Kimbrough. And another one goes down. The ball movement has been very effective early. 10 assists on 13 made shots for the Mercury. This is against arguably the best defensive team in the WNBA. Hamby gets the 3 to fall.
Well, each team is certainly matching the intensity tonight, Sean. And, you know, we could certainly see a game back where we were the last meeting between these two on July 31st, hitting the century mark.
Can't get the tough finish. You can see Wilson saying, let it go out, let's get a breather for a second, because this pace has been tremendous to start in the first half. Everybody getting apiece in the scoring column. 13 different players have already scored just over 3 minutes into the second quarter. The number 2 scorer in the WNBA, Asia Wilson, off the mark on the fadeaway. She's now 3 of 9 from the field. Taurasi back to Smith, drives inside and gets the shot to go off glass. Question for Phoenix is, how can they sustain this hot start? Young misses the mark, and that's what we saw just the other day for the Mercury, Leah, was they got up by 15 at the end of the first quarter, but then it was in the second half where they only scored 32 points and made 3 of 18 shots from downtown.
Right, and again, that goes back to that lull that they sometimes have in that third quarter especially.
Back to Smith. Can't hit another one. Turner fighting for the offensive rebound, but it'll go back to Las Vegas. Timeout on the floor. Las Vegas and Erica Hamby looking to come back and take the lead when we return. After tonight, Phoenix and Las Vegas have just 5 games left in the regular season. And at least for the Aces, what's on the line these next couple of games is they want to get that very nice double bye and straight to the conference semifinals, because you get a couple of days of extra rest, but you're also not playing in that single elimination playoff game.
Really, 5 through 8, they play in that single elimination situation, and you don't want to be on the bottom half of that. Minnesota and Chicago clinching tonight with Indiana's loss. Minnesota clinched for the 10th consecutive trip to the WNBA playoffs.
A veteran move by Jackie Young to wait for Skylar Diggins-Smith to get in the air before drawing what is the Phoenix's guard's first personal foul. Aaliyah, this is what Phoenix has done really well in the first half. This season, Las Vegas averages the most free throw attempts per game at 24. But this is just the second trip to the line for Vegas. And Sandy Brondello and her defense, especially with the limited front court, you really can't foul against this team.
No, and her front court, her front court has done a great job tonight. Lena Smith getting a lot of playing time here and really helping out. And, you know, early on with the changes in the front court, Smith not only was able to contribute, but had contribute with some block shots, with some steals, with some key rebounds. You could tell, and there's a block right there. You could tell that she's starting to feel more comfortable in the setting with the reps that she's getting.
And a second rejection on the possession. Alana Smith keeping Phoenix ahead. Sophie Cunningham. Diggins-Smith pass tipped and intercepted by Kayla McBride. Midway through the second quarter, floats a pass in and Hamby finishes. Looking like another 6th Women of the Year award. Be the 3rd WNBA player to win it multiple times, along with DeWanna Bonner and Allie Quigley. Alana Smith, catch and shoots. Angel McCoughtry the rebound. Right back to Wilson, had a step on Brianna Turner.
Angel playing limited minutes there in the first quarter of play, and back out on the floor.
And a timeout called by Sandy Brondello with the Las Vegas run starting. Angel McCoughtry giving it to the MVP, Asia Wilson. And Las Vegas leads it by 3. Earlier today, the WNBA announced its Players of the Month. Courtney Vandersloot for the Eastern Conference and Asia Wilson for the West after some incredible performances. And how about Crystal Dangerfield, drafted number 16 and earning Rookie of the Month honors, and Bill Lambier, after an 11-1 month for Las Vegas, named the Coach of the Month. But really, you take a look at what's happened the last 9 or 10 days. Potentially Skylar Diggins-Smith or Diana Taurasi is the best players in the league.
Certainly, with all that has transpired for this Phoenix Mercury team, trying to find some balance with some wins, getting into the winning column, getting through the adversity on this 3-game win streak right now. And certainly no question, Sean, if they make a deep run into the playoffs and rise towards the top, Skylar Diggins-Smith and Diana Taurasi will be in the conversation for MVP honors in this league.
Back-to-back threes out of the timeout. Phoenix in a flash takes the lead off the roll. Hamby with another lay-in. So with 9 points off the bench to go with 7 rebounds. Diggins-Smith floats it back to Vaughn. That's been her sweet spot the last few games, and miscommunication creates a second chance for the Mercury. Right back to Taurasi. Oh, are you kidding me? They're all going in for the GOAT tonight. 21 first half points on 5 of 8 shooting from downtown. And another turnover. McCautry lost it. Walker Kimbrough can't finish. Diggins-Smith's follow won't go. Taurasi uses one. With Walker Kimbrough coming back, but come on, are you serious with this one?
That's at least, what, 10 feet back? And that's a player that's having fun right there. Gotta love it.
Kind of like when I'm trying to pick up a spare at the bowling alley and you start doing
exactly.
the little dance thinking it's gonna work.
Do the slide, talk it in, little English.
Not crazy if it works.
Yeah.
And everything's working for Diana Taurasi right now, defending Angel. McCautry stripped it. McCautry got it back, but left it short. Diggins-Smith in transition. Off the screen from Vaughn. Shea Petty can't connect, but her miss goes right back to her. Diggins-Smith recognizing Jackie Young right in her grill, forces the foul, and that'll be Young's second personal. Well, Bill Lambier not just used to seeing this from his team. On the streak where they've won 11 of the last 12, his team has only given up more than 85 points one time. That was in a 96-92 win against Dallas. Taurasi can't get the lucky bounce this time around. With under 2 to play, Phoenix continues to lead against the #2 team in the league. Young can't cut the deficit in half. Wilson on the floor, somehow sneaks it to McBride. Young thought about the 3, gives it inside. Mismatch, and Wilson takes advantage. Wilson late getting back. Taurasi hangs another one. 24 first half points. Got to get some of that dirt off your shoulder there, Diana.
Little swagger.
An illegal screen called against Erica Hamby. I think we're running out of superlatives.
And it's just jaw-dropping. She, takes the bounce and works like a football player coming off of the, working off of the tackles during practice and stuff. It's just amazing what Diana Taurasi can do with and without the basketball. She's trying to free herself up inside right now.
And already tying a season high of 8 field goals made that she had when she put up 34 points, wearing Kobe Bryant's name on the back of her jersey last Sunday. And she has certainly brought the Mamba mentality ever since that day. A game where she made 11 free throws, helped secure the first of now 3 consecutive Mercury wins. Trying to make it 4 here tonight to tie the streak of their longest win streak this year. McBride off the mark again, and a chance to extend the 5-point lead. Petty slips it back, And Vaughn knocks down another jumper.
You know what the scary part of this is, if you're Vegas trying to defend this. Now Phoenix is getting several players into the mix of the offensive attack. It's making it extremely hard to figure out how to defend at the opposite end of the floor, whether it's Smith coming in off the bench, Walker Kimbrough coming in off the bench, Skylar Diggins-Smith doing her thing, getting to the hoop, and Kia Vaughn hitting those elbow shots at key times.
Foul on Kia Vaughn. It's her first personal. And that's what you have to remember, too, about Phoenix's offense, Leah, is that they're #1 in the WNBA in assist percentage, meaning that they get nearly 70% of their baskets assisted on. And tonight, they're 15 of 19, nearly 80%. The free throws cut the deficit to 5. With the shot clock turned off, Phoenix can hold and take a lead into the locker room again. Mercury undefeated this year when they're up at the half. Diggins-Smith away from the screen. Loses the handle, but it'll stay here with 4.9. And a timeout called by Sandy Brondello, looking to draw up one final successful play in the first half, where her team hasn't missed much. 50% from the floor and 50 first half points. The kids getting a workout, just like the players on the floor. Looking good and feeling good in this first half. Inbound to Taurasi. Puts it up. I'm gonna say it was last touched by an Aces defender. There's still one final chance to extend the 5-point lead.
Plenty of time, somebody come hard off a screen.
The lob to Taurasi at the buzzer. Gets it to go. A virtuoso performance in the first half. 26 points for Diana Taurasi. And the Mercury by their game-high lead of 7 points.
Just getting a nice roll and touch. Good spacing there against McBride, and when things are good, things are good. Let's head to the locker room and regroup.
Phoenix this year 6-0 when leading at the half. And this final shot for Diana Taurasi caps another incredible shooting performance. A'ja Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces looking for answers as they head into the locker room. It's a 52-45 lead for the Mercury at the break. Ready for the second half of this track meet between Phoenix and Las Vegas, where the Mercury lead by 7. Sean Salisbury and Leah Secondo with you tonight. And what an offensive performance by so many, but it was Diana Taurasi and the rest of the pack shooting.
Yeah, it was Diana's shelf in the first half, and she's one off of her season high with 6 threes in that first half of play. Just incredible everywhere on the court for this Phoenix Mercury team. 12 consecutive double-figure games now, and back-to-back 20-plus games for Diana Taurasi. And you know, you talk about trying to defend her, getting out and pushing her off the line. There's not too much more you can push her away from the line. Everything working well for Diana Taurasi and her team right now.
And despite the advantage on the boards for Las Vegas, the defense around the perimeter, where they struggled in that first meeting with Phoenix back on July 31st, they gave up a season-high 102, and Phoenix already halfway there again.
Yeah, and it's crazy. We are in the mix, in the mode to hit the century mark very easily in this second or half of play, third and fourth quarters of basketball, as the team heads out to the floor. Skylar Diggins-Smith and Diana Taurasi, and if I'm a teammate of Diana Taurasi, I'm looking for a low 5-2. I want to feel a little bit of what she's feeling out on the court. Give me some of that mojo.
And the important thing to remember too with Phoenix is they had a similar start against Minnesota on Sunday, but Phoenix then, after leading by 15 after the first quarter, scored just 32 second half points and went 3 of 18 from downtown. How do you want them to start strong here in the third?
You know, this is a Las Vegas team that has won 13 of their last 14 games. They're not going to go away. they're going to get even a little bit more ticked off here. They're going to throw a punch. And I think for Vegas, they have to be patient, try to establish that inside game, which they're really good at, see if they can't get something going.
Wilson puts it in to start the third. Following that buzzer beater by Taurasi to cap a 26-point first half. Too strong on her first shot in the second half. And a chance for Danielle Robinson to run. And fouled by Taurasi. It'll be her second personal. And after taking just 6 free throw attempts in the first half, the WNBA's #1 free throw shooting team will start with 2 here.
Good to see Danielle Robinson back on the floor. In case you joined us late, there was a question of whether Robinson would actually even play tonight, suffering through some headaches. So obviously wearing a little neck pad area there. I'm sure it's keeping that trap area warm for her and loose. Just good to see her on the basketball court.
And an important guard for Las Vegas, especially off the bench where that second unit is second to none in this league. And she's now tasked with trying to stop Taurasi and commits the personal on the shot. And that'll be 3 more free throws for Diana Taurasi, who you want to say that James Harden really coined some of those little moves to draw the fouls and get to the line. But, I mean, come on. I think they learned it from her.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We talk about who is your favorite player growing up, and there's no better word to be said when you can have a Diana Taurasi, a Sue Bird, an Angel McCoughtry, Asia Wilson, you know, any of these WNBA players on the court that the youngsters that are out there trying to learn the game right now can follow and lead after.
And she has so much respect from her NBA peers. Devin Booker, Damian Lillard wearing some GOAT shirts in the bubble up in Orlando in the past couple of weeks. Those shirts on sale tomorrow. McCoughtry misfires. Into the third quarter. How can Phoenix continue this hot offensive performance against one of the W's best defenses? Las Vegas only gives up 79 points per game, and seeing what will be on sale tomorrow.
That's clean. That's a clean shirt. You gotta like that. And it says it all. Real simple.
I have a feeling those are going to sell quick, Leah.
Yeah, totally. Sold out.
And I will be online early before noon local time here in Florida. A great item for a player who is coming off some injuries from last year and elevated her play, as Kayla McBride elevates for the much-needed Las Vegas jumper. Shatori Walker-Kimbrough nearly has her pocket picked by McCoughtry. Rossi feeds inside and Turner finishes. Diana Taurasi now up to 5 assists. The only player top 5 in both points per game and assists per game this year. Wilson hit by the double. Immediately gets it back and is blocked by Turner. McCoughtry, though, scoops it up and leaves it short. Diggin Smith fouled as she attacks. And that'll be on McCoughtry, her first.
Angel McCoughtry is probably the key piece right now, Sean, that has not been able to get into the rhythm of this game tonight offensively for this Vegas team. You know, and a key piece from the 3 for the field goal percentage.
And there's a 3 from Walker-Kimbrough. Phoenix now has its largest lead of the game. McCoughtry whips it inside and another block. Second chance. Oh. And another turnover from Las Vegas. Just their 6th. Seems like some of those mistakes have been unforced tonight. Yeah,
totally. And at that point, Danielle Robinson would have been better off just going up on her own, trying to be unselfish there with that last pass.
Diggin Smith buries another one. And it forces a Las Vegas timeout. Firing on all cylinders, Phoenix has now hit 10 threes tonight.
Unselfish play by the Phoenix Mercury as they continue to pass the ball, the extra pass. Skylar Dignan-Smith making a pay from three-point land.
Taking a look at what's coming up for Sandy Brondello and her Phoenix Mercury. A pretty favorable schedule down the stretch compared to some of those other teams. The Mercury currently locked into the number 6 seed. A couple more wins, they might be fighting for 4th or 5th.
Yep.
McCautry out of the timeout, misses, and a held ball called. As Brianna Turner continues to impress down low. Some quiet numbers compared to what she's put up these last couple of games, Leah, but the fact that she's been on the floor and forced A'ja Wilson to 6 of 14 shooting is really a testament to her defense.
Well, and everybody's playing a little bit different role right now, and certainly Turner understands that. And it's something that we were discussing during the break there. The limited number of players that Phoenix has had here the last few games especially, they have really just grinded it down and come together as a unit. You know, whether it's playing for BG or playing for Bria Hartley, and they've discussed that as a team. And Sandy Brondello just says, we keep getting better every day. You and I have had the luxury of having them a couple of times over this last few weeks, and you can see the improvement. You can see the cohesiveness.
Sugar Rogers darts a pass inside, and Hamby blocked again. That's now 10 rejections by Phoenix tonight. Dignan-Smith away from the screen. On the switch, gives it up to Vaughn. Verosty wants it, looking for her second 30-point game with her next point. Rises, won't go, and Wilson grabs the rebounds. McCautry into the lane.
Nice.
Finishes this time around. She now has 6 points tonight.
Use that high ball screen and just darted right by it. Nice job. Much needed basket for confidence, certainly for the Aces.
Dignan-Smith slithers inside. Too strong. Vegas trying to run and cut into this deficit. And another bad pass. Dignan-Smith up ahead, lays it in. Now 10 points off 8 Vegas turnovers. But after leading by 7 at the half, nearly midway through the third, it's now back down to an 11-point lead following the Hamby layup.
And super lead in there, no foul called here.
Robinson, oh, not in my house, says Brianna Turner.
Woo.
Welcome to my block party.
Just staying right in it, and no.
Everybody's been invited tonight.
Yeah.
Now 14 blocks in her last 5 games. With a staple defensively at Notre Dame. Playing her best ball, she goes one-on-one with Hamby, but winds up committing her 3rd personal. I think what you have to remember too, Leah, is Las Vegas doesn't take nor make a lot of three-point shots. They average 12, which is dead last in three-point attempts this year. They haven't really gotten to the line, so how do you want to see them come back where they've been taken out of their rhythm most of the night?
Well, they need to get back to the line. The three ball is not a big part of their game, but getting to the free throw line certainly is. And Hamby has been doing what she can in her part and trying to get to the free throw line. Just keep dumping that ball inside and see if you can create some mismatches.
Diggins-Smith hits another one. That's her third three. She now has 15 points.
I guess with Taurasi on the bench, somebody else needs to pick it up for three-point land, correct?
Hamby inside. Was bumped but no whistle. She has 15 herself to go with 9 rebounds. Both team highs for Las Vegas. Diggins-Smith gets the foul called right as she released it. And pulling at Taurasi.
Get back to Hamby for a second. You know, her play gets sometimes lost with A'ja Wilson, but she has really improved her offensive set at the opposite end of the floor with some solid career-high numbers. Great job in as Diana Taurasi will continue to get a little bit of a breather here.
Foul on Robinson on the floor. Pass was tipped, but still up to Petty. 2 on the shot clock. Alana Smith follows her miss and grabs the rebound. 3 black jerseys collapse in, and a reach-in foul is called again on the Aces.
Well, Smith got very fortunate with the way that that ball rebounded out. 2 collapsing jerseys on the Aces, and she was able to kind of garner possession enough to have the foul picked up and called.
Back to Smith. Nothing but air on that three-point attempt, but still an incredible night for Phoenix from deep, shooting 46% from downtown. 6 of their 11 threes made by Taurasi. Big reason why they've gone on this 3-game win streak after losing 3 straight. They've now made 34 threes in their last 3 games. Hamby late in the shot clock. Can't hit her second triple. Diggins-Smith with a full head of steam. Smart move by Walker Kimbrough, but not rewarded. Another offensive rebound. Rogers got a paw on it. Around the screen, Diggins-Smith into the lane, lobbed it up. Turner calls for the foul. And instead, on the backcourt, Alana Smith picks up her third. The last foul to give for Phoenix in the quarter. Let's see if Las Vegas can take advantage now in the bonus.
Starting to get a little physical in the paint. And, you know, in part with that, everybody's starting to get a little bit tired.
Even with the limited numbers, Phoenix hasn't showed much fatigue. Rogers can't end the Mercury run. Back out, Walker Kimbrough drills another one. 12 threes for Phoenix tonight. So far this year, they're 5-0 and they make 10 or more. Wilson hands off to McBride. Turner with their 8th rebound. Coming up on 2 minutes in the third. This ties the largest lead of the game by the Mercury. Walker Kimbrough penetrates, passes to Smith, and a good contest by Wilson. On the break, Jackie Young to the basket. Won't go after a couple of bounces. McBride banks it in, plus the foul.
And Kayla McBride has really been working hard for this Aces team. Hit a couple of big shots from the outside. Now driving hard to the basket, giving herself an opportunity here for the first time tonight at the free throw line, which, as we were just talking about, if the Aces want to make a run here late in the third and into the fourth, they've got to be able to stop the clock and get to the line.
The foul on Diggins Smith, her third personal. She and Turner each have 3. Right back out. Walker Kimbrough with a nice fake. Floats it up. Too strong. Jackie Young the rebound. Vegas trying to finish strong. Nice pass inside, but before the shot, Hamby travels. We have just seen Las Vegas been taken out of its rhythm the entire game. And after the entire month of August, where they really whipped right through the schedule, going 11-1. Give that much credit to the Mercury, who've won 3 straight, trying to make it 4. Taurasi falling away. Up ahead, McBride loses the handle. That is now 10 turnovers by the team that turns it over the fewest amount of its possessions in the WNBA this season.
Forced to play at the pace that Phoenix is playing right now. The Mercury are dictating the tempo and forcing the Aces into a rushing situation on offense, trying to get down the court in transition before the matchups can happen.
Diggins Smith was bumped but couldn't finish. See if Las Vegas tries to go for a 2-for-1 in the final minute of the third quarter. McBride slips it to Hamby, goes up, and earns another trip to the line. 2 of 2 already tonight.
I like her aggressive play here. Watch McBride slips it once the defense turns their backs. And really, Hamby's been extremely aggressive in trying to get to the hoop. A solid rebounder for this Vegas team this season. Coming alive here on the offensive side, off the bench tonight to lead all bench scorers right now with 16.
And has her 4th double-double. She's added 11 rebounds. The disruptor on both ends of the floor, wreaking havoc, but splits the pair at the line. So about a 6-second differential. It was a 52-45 lead for Phoenix at the half. They've been strong and steady all night. Diggins Smith back to Vaughn. Wide open, cashes in another easy jumper. Final 5, Young ahead of the pack. Lays it in with 2 seconds left. Rossi will not put up a heave at the buzzer, and it is a 9-point Phoenix lead going into the 4th quarter.
Vegas Aces trying to make a run as the ace of spades here as we head to the 4th quarter. They'll have to come back hard against this Phoenix Mercury team.
The secret to success the last couple of games on this 3-game win streak for Phoenix has been the deep ball, and now 2 shy of their season high they set against Washington last Sunday. Main reason why they lead by 9.
And you live and die by the 3 tonight. Phoenix is living life by the 3.
Nothing dry in the valley just yet. Turner can't hit at the end of the shot clock. In Las Vegas's last game Saturday, they started the 4th quarter with a 21-2 run. And they start the 4th with an and one by Jackie Young.
Talk about getting the roll, working good off the screen high, and a nice job in a little English, and that's what the Aces need right now, a little bit of English and opportunity to get to the free throw line. But yeah, recalling that victory against New York on Sunday, that certainly was the difference there in that 4th quarter of play, because the Liberty were playing them toe-to-toe.
Tanisha Wright, the assistant coach for the Aces, lit into the team
Lit.
Provided that spark to start that fourth quarter run. Diggin Smith in trouble, has to hoist. And another solid possession. There's Jackie Young again, taking it herself the other way. And a volleyball spike over to Taurasi. Wants it back. Still stuck on 29 points. McBride drives and was fouled by Taurasi. Certainly willing to contest her third personal foul. There is Tanisha Wright, and that was what was funny. Asia Wilson, some of her other teammates were laughing about, yeah, you know, she was calling us some mean names, but, you know, kind of woke us up when we were tied at 56. Eventually won 80-63. That was the fewest points they allowed this year. And already, Phoenix was 73 tonight, just 6 shy of the season average that is allowed by Las Vegas this year. Down to a 5-point game. And the foul drawn by Diggin Smith will put her back at the line. And was going to say, Leah, the reason why Las Vegas has gotten back into this game, they were getting to the line. They're being aggressive, like you said, starting at the end of the third. But we've seen a couple of those really smart, crafty moves by Taurasi and Diggin Smith to help give a breather for this Phoenix club.
Yeah, totally. And Diggin Smith kind of leaning in and being able to get that call there. And, you know, already 3 players in double figures for the Mercury.
She had 13 fourth quarter points in a 4-point win against Minnesota Sunday. And splits the pair to make it a 6-point game. Young powers up. And the bounces fall right into the hands of Turner. 11 rebounds for the forward. And quickly another foul called. This will be the 3rd on Young. What a couple of games these two teams have played. Las Vegas trying to move into a tie in first place with Seattle. Meanwhile, Phoenix trying to extend its 3-game win streak. Diggin Smith with a solid fake, but shuffled her feet before she put it on the floor. That's just the 6th turnover by Phoenix tonight.
Yeah, they've done a great job of taking care of the basketball tonight. And as Sandy Brondello looks on, and you know, you start controlling your possessions and protecting the rock, you're going to have great success. And rebounding, limiting turnovers.
Great pass from McBride to Hamby, and it's down to 4. Diggin Smith around the defense. Dishes back to Vaughn. And she hits it again from her sweet spot. 8 points for Vaughn, and 3 of her 4 jumpers have been from there. And Hamby moving too quickly, dribbles it off her knee out of bounds. Diggin Smith with a hand in her face, too strong, but Vaughn there to clean up the miss. A crucial second chance basket. McBride working against Taurasi. Young with a nice ball fake and is rewarded with the open jumper. Young has 15, her 8th game in double figures this year. Vaughn on the slip attacks and lays in it again. That's now
Vaughn.
6 straight.
Ben on the elbow, second chance opportunities on the elbow, moving in and out away from the basket, trying to create some separation. And it feels, Sean, like she's got more than 4 boards tonight, the way that she has attacked the basket.
The way Phoenix has defended A'ja Wilson, although I don't know how she got that one to drop. 15 points for the WNBA's second leading scorer. Vaughn, why not? Robinson with the lane. This fires. Tough angle. Walker Kimbrough behind the line. Drains another one. Her third three, she has 15 points. And a big 5-point swing.
Credit Taurasi with swinging that ball to the opposite side of the floor, seeing the play develop, wide open shot. Very simple.
Phoenix gave Las Vegas a poor end of the month of July, trying to give them a bad start to September. Vaughn, little heat check there on the jumper. Robinson trying to settle things down midway through the fourth. And Wilton called on the push-off. Phoenix continues to lead, trying to finish this one out with a 9-point lead. We return midway through the fourth quarter as Phoenix leads by 9. Leah, they led by 7 at the half thanks to Diana Taurasi's 26 points. She's only scored 3 here in the second half and hasn't really needed to add much to that total because she's been picked up by her teammates.
Totally, nice compliment for the rest of the team on the floor, and at key times, whether it was Skylar Diggins-Smith or Walker Kimbrough with a big bucket, or Kia Vaughn, who also has contributed and now has 12.
Vaughn has 6 fourth quarter points and gives it back to Taurasi. Inside to Turner. Back to Vaughn. Can't hit at the end of the shot clock. Vegas cut it to 4 earlier, but a strong spurt has kicked it back up to 9. McCautry weaves inside. Denied again by Turner. The second chance by Wilson won't go, but she'll head to the line for just the second time tonight. The WNBA's leader in free throws attempted and free throws made this year.
Yeah, nice job in just kind of waiting and attacking the glass, getting up over Vaughn there, and that foul call to get to the free throw line. Couldn't get it to fall, but she'll shoot 2.
And now 2-2 at the charity stripe tonight. Las Vegas has been trailing ever since the 4-minute mark of the second quarter. Mercury trying to put a finish on another big win and sweep the season series. Diggins-Smith splits the double team and gets it to drop. 18 points for Skylar Diggins-Smith, 2 away from her 7th 20-point game this year. McBride taking it off the dribble. Tough angle, won't go. Taurasi with a big basket. Just her second one of the second half, but she now collects her second 30-point game this year. A big-time basket to stretch the lead back to 12. Young hits the and one.
Like the aggressiveness of Young. We watched her defensively not be in awe, so to speak, of Diana Taurasi's play and picking up a foul on the backcourt, responding here a couple of plays later, aggressively going to the basket and completing the 3-point play.
3 points the hard way, and 18 on the night for Jackie Young. A Las Vegas team that doesn't shoot or make a lot of 3-pointers. They need some stops on this end with just 3 minutes to play. Diggins-Smith earns a trip to the foul line. 91% foul shooter, top 10 in the WNBA this year in that category. And certainly an uphill battle for Bill Laimbeer, who I think has had a couple of more hairs turn gray on that head tonight. His defense gave up a season-high 102 points in the meeting on July 31st. And ever since that game, his team has only allowed more than 85 one time. Make it 2. Phoenix leads 90-79 against the WNBA's #2 team. Wilson calls for it. With the fake, created the separation.
You know, I credit Turner there on the box out. There wasn't even a chance for Wilson to be able to try to figure out an offensive board for a putback. Good box out.
Pass taken away by Hamby. Vaughn inadvertently kicks it. 2:32 left. Las Vegas looking for the comeback when we return. Skylar Diggins now has her 7th 20-point game of the season. And Leah, she has done a lot of damage in the second half to keep Phoenix ahead.
And most of her damage, you know, she started off, Sean, with a lot of 3 balls, but then said, you know what? I'm going to drive to the hoop, commanding the offense, running the attack for Phoenix, really keeping the Aces off guard by what she's doing out on the floor, whether it's distributing the basketball, lighting it up from 3, or taking it directly to the basket and getting to the free throw line as well.
Those 7 assists have also been crucial down the stretch in the 4th quarter. And one of the biggest acquisitions in the offseason, playing like a true vet, is Phoenix trying to continue some of its best play this year. McBride short, offensive rebound. McCautry muscling inside before the shots. Diana Taurasi called for her 4th foul. And the 5th team foul on Phoenix in the quarter will have Las Vegas in the bonus for the final 2:15. McCautry, who has the #1 PER in the WNBA this year at 29. An incredible number, but she struggled tonight. Much in part to that Phoenix front court that has made everything tough on the block. It's a 9-point game after the free throws. The full court pressure quickly backs off. No room for error now for Las Vegas. Taurasi feeds it back to Vaughn, and a dagger. Kia Vaughn coming alive in the 4th quarter.
Diana Taurasi recognized that, Sean. The double team came up towards her, left Vaughn wide open down on the baseline for that shot.
Young attacks and hits another one. She has 20 points tonight. A great offensive efforts. But it was Phoenix's offense that has proved to be a little bit better. Taurasi can't hit another one. Already hit 7 threes tonight to tie a season high. McBride tosses it up and puts it in. 7-point game. Young steals the inbound. McBride gets it back and can't hit. Would have been a big basket coming up on a minute to play. And commits a frustration foul in the backcourt.
Intensity on the inbounds pass, and who is there but Young once again. We talked about her play in the second half, Sean. She has been all over the floor, making some big plays defensively, getting to the line as well.
First foul in the last 2 minutes on Las Vegas. Phoenix just running clock for now. Taurasi and hit a new season high. Just 6 second-half points for the GOAT, but really picked up by her teammates, especially in this fourth quarter when the lead got down to 4. And in less than a minute, they got it back to 8. Sugar Rogers leaves it short and the shot clock turned off. What an effort by Phoenix, and you can see the emotion from Diana Taurasi for her club's 4th straight win. And giving it to Vaughn, the 4th quarter hero. 8 in the final period for Vaughn. And it proves to be the difference in a 92-85 Phoenix win over Las Vegas. After the shot clock violation, that's it. Phoenix improves to 10-7 on the year. Las Vegas drops to 12-4. We'll take a quick timeout and wrap things up when we come back following a big 4th quarter by Kia Vaughn. Phoenix with a clutch win down the stretch to win.